Creating a paycheck in your retirement. So understanding Social Security. So, first with Social Security, realize that this is one of the paychecks that you're going to get in retirement. It is one of those benefits that if you are in a for-profit world that you've been paying into the system to qualify, you have to have worked for 10 years, it's 40 quarters, and they will average out your 35 years of earning to get what your benefit is going to be. Max benefit right now is $3,100. You have to earn more than $130,000 a year to get into that bracket. FRA means your full retirement age. And you can see on the screen there, it gives you what the full retirement age based on your date of birth. Essentially, for anyone born after 1960, right now, as of today, FRA is 67. We'll talk about claiming earlier and those type of things. That's why you have to understand the claiming strategies with Social Security. But if you were born somewhere in between 1954 and 1960, you can see it's 66 and basically add 2 months for every year for there to get to your full retirement age. And full retirement age means that Social Security has calculated what they call their PIA, which is the primary insurance amount, right? So that is what they call your full benefit. You can go on to socialsecurity.gov, look up what your benefit amount is going to be, and they're going to tell you at your FRA what that number is going to be. If you claim earlier, you actually get less. And, using 66, because that's what, most of the people who are claiming nowadays, that's what they're using for a number, that it's approximately 6.25% a year less every year that you claim before your FRA, or if you're at 66. If I wait past age 66, in this case, full retirement age, my benefit goes up by 0.70 every single month I go past full retirement age. Just going through the 4% rule real quick. This is the concept here is that, hey, if I take 4% of my money, whatever I have in my pile, bag, bucket of my accumulated wealth, if I withdraw 4% from that every year when I'm in retirement, I will last for the rest of my life. Now, there's a couple of things why the 4% rule has sort of fallen to the wayside. One, this was a theory that was created and really fundamentally pushed out in the mid-1970s. CDs, interest rates were at a different marker than they are today. And, just from the mid-1970s to now, we're living longer. So the life expectancy back then is different than it is today. The 4% rule, for example. So what this gives you is, and it doesn't matter how much money you have, and it doesn't matter how much money you're earning, right? What you're earning on that money, this is how much I'm taking out on an annual basis. See, the rule when you are in retirement for your money does one of three things in retirement. It is there to provide income. It is there to generate income, provide liquidity, and or, if the case may be, leave a legacy. Say leave a legacy, that's for beneficiaries, next generation, charitable concerns. And so the problem for most retirees when they get into trying to sift through this is that they're trying to use the same asset, usually the retirement account, the 401k plan, IRA type of thing, to do all three things. When you're setting yourself up for some of this is to be thinking about, I'm setting up separate buckets. I've got a bucket, I know what I need to generate for income in my retirement. I've got Social Security, and then I've got the gap between whatever I need to live on and what Social Security isn't going to provide to me. Then I can think about liquidity, and liquidity becomes those other expenses, right? We have emergencies, we want to buy something, we want to travel that's not in our regular budget. And then If we are inclined to leave money to the next generation, that's a separate bucket. So one of the things we talk to everybody about is creating your own personal pension plan. So one of the strategies that we talk about is using what we call a covered asset. If we have $1 million, just like the example from the video, and I'm using a safe withdrawal number, that's that 3.5%. Again, somewhere between 3 and 4 is a safe withdrawal number. Well, that means I'm living on $35,000 a year, plus whatever my Social Security is paying. We have to figure out a way that we're going to get additional dollars. And the way we do that is to be able to create some kind of an income stream for a certain amount of our dollars so that we know we're getting paid. Now, a lot of times this is using an annuity. If you want to leave money, whether it's for liquidity purposes or to the next generation, you've got to have something that's backing it up so that you, as we like to say, have the ability to spend all your money. Because if you're trying to leave it for something, you can't spend all your money because you're worried about leaving it for the next generation. So there's a way to do that where you look at, I'm putting some aside, I am then creating it, I'm going to turn on this annuity bucket, which is then going to pay me out a stream that's going to give me a guaranteed income, much like Social Security. The other one is to use what we call a buffer, right? So same idea, I've got $1 million, I'm going to take out the safe withdrawal is 3.5%, so I'm only getting $35,000 a year. In a buffer situation, what we're saying is we built up assets in another bucket, a safe bucket, one that's not subject to market swings or interest rates or any fluctuations. And in a year when the market tanked in that first year, instead of withdrawing from her 401k, what she would do is she would go into this alternate bucket that's been set up and take the money from there. She'd then allow the market to return, give her assets a chance to breathe, come back, and then start withdrawing from it. And the idea is it's usually within the first 3 to 5 years that if you can offset a downturn of 1, 2, or 3 years in those first, say, 5 to 7 years, you're going to survive.
Have questions? Ask us. We can help with that. You can email Craig at criechardson@ariesfoundation.org, or you can visit the website to learn more about what we do and how we might be able to help you. www.ariesfoundation.org. Want to see more of this recording? Go to www.ariesfoundation.org/events. If you know an organization or community support group that could benefit from one of our workshops, reach out to Tom T. Alessi at ariesfoundation.org. Our mission is trying to help everyone have a better relationship with their money.